Welcome to the Real Mongolia channel, a deep insight into Mongolia without bias and agenda. In this video, I'm gonna give you the tour of statues and monuments in Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia. If you want to know more about the land of the blue sky, please consider subscribing. I'm your host Bayra, and let's go. Silk Road 9. This is my favorite one because it tells a story of a changing nation, from nomadic to settled lifestyle, from traditional to modern, from the countryside to the cities. One master, one dog, and 9 camels carrying silk and tea, heading west, just as they did thousands of years ago. But this time, they aren't sure where they are heading, future or past. Chingunju Statue and Memorial. He was a patriot who sacrificed his life for his nation. A nobleman, Chingunju led an ill-fated revolt against the Manchu Qin dynasty in the 17th century. Although his rebellion had failed, he became a symbol of patriotism and nationalism among his people. Apart from this one, 3 other statues of him have been erected in Huskut province, his home region. The Bogd Khan statue. I actually didn't know about this statue until the filming. Apparently, Bogd Khan Memorial Park was opened in September 2020 near Bogd Khan Palace Museum. I really liked the peaceful and serene atmosphere of this place, something which isn't widely available in this city. Bogd Khan was the ruler of Mongolia from 1911 to 1924, following the country's independence from the Qin dynasty. During the communist time, he had been constantly portrayed in a bad light, someone who opposed the revolution and conspired against it. But in reality, he was a nationalist who greatly cared about his country and his people. I'm just happy that Bogd Khan is receiving the recognition he deserved. The Buddha statue. More than 50% of Mongolians identify as Buddhists, so it is no surprise to find a giant golden Buddha statue in the country's capital. The statue was erected facing Ulaanbaatar, symbolizing Buddha's protection over it. The same way Christ the Redeemer statue protects the people of Brazil. The only problem is the Buddha statue is now surrounded by these tall buildings that overshadows it, blocking its view of the city. Maybe that's the reason why we are not developing as fast as we should. And because it is surrounded by these high rises, it's also not an easy task to find its location. The Beatles Monument. I'm a huge Beatles fan, so naturally this has become one of my favorites. Kids like to hang out here a lot, skateboarding and playing guitar, reminding you the one simple truth: no matter what happens, life goes on. 40, 50 years ago, parents, maybe grandparents of these kids used to hang out here, listening to the Beatles, dreaming of the distant future. Now it's their turn. Georgy Zhukov Bust and Memorial. I'm a history nerd, so I read a lot about Soviet Union General and Marshal Georgy Zhukov, especially about his military exploits in the Khalkhin-Gol battle, in which the joint forces of Mongolia and Soviet Union fought against the Imperial Japanese Army. Because of its historical significance, Russian leaders lay wreaths at this memorial whenever they visit our country. The latest one took place in 2019, a year in which we celebrated the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Khalkhin-Gol. If you are a history buff like me, I recommend you to visit a Georgy Zhukov house museum next to the memorial, where you can enjoy some beautiful Soviet mosaics. I think Bald and Bankrupt will love this place. Memorial to the victims of political purges. This one reflects the dark and tragic time in Mongolia's history. From 1937 to 1939, over 13,000 Mongolians were executed as part of the Great Purge. Accused of being enemies of the revolution, the victims were Buddhist monks, aristocrats, intellectuals, and ethnic minorities such as Buryats and Kazakhs. In just 18 months, almost 5% of the population disappeared, and their family members suffered discrimination and persecution for many years after the event. The black cubic structure symbolizes oppression and grief, and the figure of a broken human torso with a head soaring upward reflects the tragic fate of the condemned. Marshal Chobasan statue. Interestingly, a man who led Mongolia during the Great Purge stands just few hundred meters from the victims' memorial. Comrade Chobasan was the leader of Mongolia and the commander of the army from 1930 to 1952. This statue was erected while he was alive at the height of his cult of personality, making it the only statue in Ulaanbaatar dedicated to a living person. I think it's kind of ironic that the victims' memorial and the statue of a man partly responsible for it stands just a few hundred meters apart, separated by the government building. Sanja Surgin Dzörg statue. He was a prominent Mongolian politician and the leader of the country's 1990 Democratic Revolution. On 2nd of October 1998, he was murdered at his apartment, 3 days before he was appointed as the new Prime Minister of the country. His murder case is still unsolved today and is a subject of great controversy, especially when elections are coming. Tsogtsakhan statue and memorial. Here is another political memorial. Mr. Tsogtsakhan was a songwriter whose Sound of the Bell song became the anthem for the country's democratic revolution in 1990. It is said that his song inspired many people to join the demonstrations against the communist government. His revolutionary song marks the end of 70-year communist one-party rule in Mongolia. Often held as the voice of the democracy, Mr. Tsoktsakh's legacy was forever cemented at this memorial, which was created in 2015 during the 25th anniversary of the revolution. Encounter of the Lovers. I don't know much about the background story of this bronze sculpture. Apparently, it symbolizes the true love. It depicts the moment true lovers pledge their lifelong commitment to one another, encouraging all the couples to do the same.
Нулим сунган